Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise. It was now about noon, and darkness came over the whole land until 3 in the afternoon, while the sun's light failed, and the curtain of the temple was torn in two. Then Jesus, crying with a loud voice, said, "Father, into your hands I commend my spirit." Having said this, he breathed his last. And when the centurion saw what had taken place, he praised God and said, "Certainly this man was innocent." And when all the crowds who had gathered there for this spectacle saw what had taken place, they returned home, beating their breasts. But all his acquaintances, including the women who had followed him from Galilee, stood at a distance, watching these things. Now there was a good and righteous man named Joseph, who, though a member of the council, had not agreed to their plan and action. He came from the Jewish town of Arimathea, and he was waiting expectantly for the kingdom of God. This man went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Then he took it down, wrapped it in a linen cloth, and laid it in a rock-hewn tomb where no one had ever been laid. It was the day of preparation, and the Sabbath was beginning. The women who had come with him from Galilee followed, and they saw the tomb and how his body was laid. Then they returned and prepared spices and ointments. And on the Sabbath day they rested, according to the commandment. This is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
In the Apostles' Creed, this whole story is summed up in 2 simple lines. He suffered under Pontius Pilate. He was crucified, dead, and was buried. There does seem to be a contrast between Pilate and Jesus, between the Pilate pattern and the Jesus way. The Jesus way is to love even to the point of death, to give oneself for others. It is this that makes him king. The Pilate pattern is the obvious one. Power rests on the capacity to exert physical force, deadly force. And the world runs so often by the Pilate pattern. It is unlikely that ever any of us will have the opportunity to exert the kind of force that Pilate could use. But there is one more thing about Pilate. In this gospel, in all the gospels, It is clear that Pilate knows what is right. He knows that Jesus is innocent. He knows he should do what is right. But he doesn't do it. That too is the Pilate pattern. And why does he do this? I think there's a simple reason. He just doesn't care. This is the Pilate pattern. Not to care. Dear friends, I have only one thing to say to you if you wish to follow Jesus. Just one thing. Please care.